Today on Commander Replay, we check out this GoFundMe submitted Aminatou Esper Spirits deck. Does Aminatou have the heart and spirit to take down our opponents? Find out next on Commander Replay. I want to thank my awesome Patreon supporters. We have 2 new Patreon supporters in Adam Spinner and Max Hoffman. You guys are awesome. If you want to help support the channel and vote on which decks I play next, feel free to check out my Patreon at the link below. And be sure to check out my GoFundMe for GP Vegas, where I offer rewards like deck reviews or having your deck made into a video. Links to the GoFundMe and the video describing the details will be in the description below. Welcome back, everyone. Playing some Aminatou the Fate Shifter Esper Spirit Tribal, and today's deck list comes to us from a GoFundMe donation by Derek. And yeah, we're going to check out some Esper Spirit Tribal today. I took a look through the deck. They do have some pretty powerful cards in here. We do have the Black Myojin, so we can make everyone discard their hand. I did see a Bolas Citadel and a few other things that look kind of spicy. So yeah, let's get into it. Ooh, you have a Josu Vess opponent, and they start off with the turn 1 Swamp into Mana Vault. And that's gonna get them pretty close to that Josu Vess. Mana Vault does speed up Josu Vess clock quite a bit. And that'll bring it to our turn 1. We do draw into a land. Let's play the command tower right here. We could have gone for the Marsh Flats, but it's still early in the morning, and I am not firing on all cylinders yet. So hopefully we'll wake up a little bit as this game gets going. So taking a look at Aminatou. Aminatou is Esper for a 3 loyalty Planeswalker. And the +1 is draw a card, then put a card from your hand on top of your library. The -1 is exile another target permanent you own, then return it to the battlefield under your control. And then the ultimate is choose left or right. Each player gains control of all non-land permanents other than Aminatou by the next player in the chosen direction. This is a pretty spicy commander. You can do a lot of different things with this. You can do the Library Matters stuff. You can do the Blink stuff. There are some combos. I don't recall exactly what they are off the top of my head, but I know that they do exist, and with some series of cards you can get infinite activations with Aminatou. I don't think there's any of that in the deck. I didn't see anything that strikes me as a combo piece. It looked like fairly straightforward Spirit Tribal, but like I said, still some powerful cards in the deck. Hey, that's a Gauntlet of Power. That will help our swamps. Do we have any swamps? We could get a swamp with this Marsh Flats, which we might do. And that'll bring it back to our turn. We draw a Plains. Let's play the Marsh Flats, crack the Marsh Flats, get the swamp. So our swamp will now produce 2. We won't be able to do anything with the additional mana this turn, but it will be handy in the future. And just as a reminder, Painful Truths does need 3 colors of mana to be its most effective, so we don't have that just yet. Otherwise, I may have gone for that. But yeah, we'll play this Remorseful Cleric and then pass the turn like that. This is a really good card, by the way. This is the type of card that if you're running any white creature-based deck, you probably want to be running this. The ability to exile a single player's graveyard is so powerful. I've been using Tormod's Crypt, and this is essentially Tormod's Crypt on a creature, and so many times people have been like, I would have won the game if you didn't have Tormod's Crypt. So Remorseful Cleric, just a really good card, especially on theme for us since we are playing Spirit Tribal, but I've been starting to jam it into other decks as well. Decks that like to carry equipments, really good for that. If you like to use Mask of Memory like I do, it is a really helpful. Looks like we're getting wrecked on that swamp. Opponent by forces the Gauntlet of Power, so Gauntlet of Power down. I mean, I guess that is the right play. That does slow down Josu Vess quite a bit, but it does make me sad that now we have a swamp that does not produce double. Some chance that they could have an extra planar lens. When you play Josu Vess, you want pretty much all of the doubling you can get. I don't personally run extra planar lens, especially in paper, because I don't have one. I know they're pretty expensive. There are many other mana doublers. Ooh, a Chrome Mox. Putting in Open the Graves underneath it. And they've got a Nykthos coming in, so yeah. Door of Destinies, yeah. Those zombies going to be getting big. Might have saved that Bifrost if they waited just like another turn or two. They could have blown up many more artifacts, but what can you do? Anyway, that'll bring it back to our turn. We do have some board wipes in the deck. I did see a Merciless Eviction in here, so that one will be good. I think this turn we will play the... Let's just get the island. We will cast our commander. Oh, what to do? Untapping a land doesn't seem to do that much. I guess we just plus, that being the case. So we draw an Immortal Sun, and I guess we'll put a Plains back on top. I'm going to take a little attack into the Josu Vess opponent. Mono black decks do like to burn a lot of their own life, so I figure we'll help them along in that process. Taking a look at what our opponents are playing today. First up, we have Dragon Knight 104 piloting Morophon the Boundless, and they did say before the game that it is a human tribal deck. And I believe we have faced this before, and from what I remember, it was pretty good. They had some pretty good interactions in there, some really interesting human cards. So we'll be seeing more of that today, and currently they have Ashana Sisei's Legacy in play. Can't be the target of abilities your opponents control, and gets +1/+1 for each creature you control, so we'll get pumped up as more creatures come into play. Next up, we have Chancemo playing Chandra Fire of Kaladesh, and this is a Chandra tribal deck. Strangely, been seeing a lot of those on the channel recently. And yeah, Chandra tribal is gonna be a lot of burn. It's probably gonna be hard to keep creatures in play because of a lot of burn effects, mass burn, stuff like that. But that is probably also kind of good with Josu Vess lurking at the table, since Josu Vess is a deck that can spit out a lot of creatures. Don't know exactly how well that will bode for us, just because our creatures don't seem to be particularly resilient to loads of removal, but there is a Debtor's Knell in the deck, so we can get some things back as the game goes longer. But yeah, Mass Burn still probably not like the best matchup for what this deck wants to be doing. And that brings it back to our turn once again. We draw into that Plains that we put back to the top. 7 cards in hand will go down to 6 if we play a land. I guess we just play a land, play the Ancient Craving. We draw 3 cards and lose some life. We'll plus Aminatou once again. Another land. Wouldn't mind seeing a shuffle at some point. I guess we put a Plains back on top, and then we'll just discard a land. I'm gonna leave our creature back just to kind of keep our Planeswalker protected a little bit. I don't want to leave it wide open. What do we have? We have a Plains already. Yeah, I guess we just discard a Plains. And if we get the time, we may cycle this irrigated farmland at some point as well. Door of Destiny's coming down. Yep. That makes 2 Door of Destinies on the field. Makes a lot of artifacts that need to get blown up. Chosen type is human. Oh, and our final opponent, by the way, is Tyrant of Ruin, piloting Josu Vess Lich Knight, and I believe it's a zombie tribal deck, especially with Door of Destinies, stuff like that. Also, a card like Open the Graves. Decent card, but as far as Josu Vess is concerned, probably works best in a full zombie tribal build and not more of a token-based build. So opponent's got a Looming Spires coming down, and when it enters the battlefield, target creature gets +1/+1 against first strike until end of turn. So they're going to pump up the old Chandra, send it into Josu Vess. No one's excited to see the massive horde of zombies come down, I take it. They do have a Lake of the Dead in play, too, so if they want to start sacrificing swamps, they can, Ooh, Exquisite Firecrafts, huh? Where's that going? Also at the Josu Vess, Savage. I may have shot our Planeswalker, if that were me piloting it. So Chandra Fire of Kaladesh flips over and does 2 damage to the Josu Vess opponent. And, yeah, they're down to 26. Makes card draw more costly when you're in mono black and your life total starts to dwindle. Opponent sacrifices another swamp. Not so many swamps left for them. In fact, 0 swamps left for them. Ooh, we're going to promise a power. Was not expecting that. They play another swamp. They also get the 7/7, so it was an entwined promise of power. Get a Demonic Tutor. I'm not sure what you go for right here. Lake of the Dead is a really costly card. If they go for like Crucible of Worlds, we may just sacrifice the Remorseful Cleric. And that's all going to bring it back to our turn. We draw that land that we didn't really want. Let's play the island, and I think we're going to use the minus ability to get the Immortal Sun into play. So we'll target this swamp with the minus, it untaps, and it blinks and then untaps, and then we play the Immortal Sun. Oh, hey, I just realized that shuts off Chandra's. That's interesting. And I think we will just pass like that. There is a 7/7 at the table. Again, would like to keep our Planeswalker protected. Opponent points out that does seem counterproductive to our Planeswalker, and it does indeed, now that I'm thinking about it. We can no longer use Aminatou with the Immortal Sun in play, but I feel like there's probably some pretty good incentive for people to try and remove the Immortal Sun, so we'll see how long it sticks around. I was just kind of thinking about the card draw and the Anthem effect more than anything. Also, the spell reduction is nice. So something I didn't think about, if you are playing these 2 cards together, it's the type of thing where you need to be very aware of the timing of what you're doing. So, like, if your Aminatou's in play, you probably don't want to run down the Immortal Sun like we just did. I have run interactions like that in the past where they can be a bit of a non-bow, but if both cards are strong enough just on their own, then it doesn't really matter that much, and it's just about timing it the right way to make sure you can get value out of them when you need to. One of the things I always think about is like Hour of Revelation hurts everyone, and especially since I tend to play a lot of artifacts, Hour of Revelation can be very painful to me. But you only play Hour of Revelation when you need to, and then it works. Like, yeah, you may have some artifacts in play, but if everyone else has like way worse stuff than that, then they're losing more than you are by playing it. So just kind of unfamiliar with the deck right there, so that's not the most ideal play for us. Also, we just didn't like have that much else going on really, so that's a thing also. So Josu Vess down to 21 after the Mana Vault trigger, starting to cast more swamps. Sacrifices another swamp, gonna play, ooh, a Kakusho. Spicy. Get themselves some life gain, they'll be back up to 35. And there's a Grim Harvest. Zombies you control have menace. Wow, that's 1 mana. Whew, I might have to get one of those. Actually, no, that's, well, it's kind of redundant, right? Because Josu Vess makes zombies with menace, so it only helps your other zombies in the deck. Does not help these zombies created by Josu Vess. And an expedition map. No Urborgs in play from what I can see, and Cabal Coffer is not helpful when you sacrifice all your lands into a Lake of the Dead. Opponent going to come our way for 7. How do I feel about that? What does this one do? We should read this thing. Enters the battlefield with a divinity counter. Yep, got all that. Remove the divinity counter. Draw a card for each permanent you control. That's cool. We're still a ways away from that, though. I think I'm going to take this hit for 7 right here. Might start blocking in the next turn cycle. So we get our extra card draw. There's a Mind Stone. And, ooh, that's a Yosei the Morning Star. That's a pretty good blocker from what I hear. So let's play Yosei. Ooh, I think we can get the Mind Stone down too. Is that right? That'll be 5. That'll be 1. Yeah. All right. We have a Yosei. I feel like Yosei is a sufficient blocker, so we can probably do a little bit of attacking. We'll swing into Dragon Knight one time. Puts them down to 33, and we'll pass the turn. Can't wait to cycle this irrigated farmland. Oh, there's another Nombo too. Painful Truths with Immortal Sun is also not the best because it means you cannot draw as many cards. Not that that would necessarily stop me from running both of them in the same deck, just one of those things you want to time out a little bit better, unlike we've done. Ooh, that's an Iroas. Got a victory. Yeah. Now the creatures have menace and won't die during combat. Opponent just going to spread the damage out. 4 to the Josu Vess and 3 to the Chandra opponent. Josu Vess down to 16. Yep. That's what happens when you play a mono black deck and you just get aggroed and, like, you get a little bit of removal sent your way and a little bit of aggro in your direction. Like, you play a card draw spell and you have not the things you want in play and your life total is very low. Now, granted, they have 2 big creatures, one of which is a Kakusho, which can gain them some life back. But, yeah. Mono black decks can burn through life in a hurry. And Mana Vault's going to trigger. Opponent down to 15, but if Kakusho dies, then they're going to go back up to 30, so, they'll be back at a pretty healthy life total. Now, if we can leave the counterspell up next turn, and opponent tries to go for the kick Josu Vess, that will be so bad for them. That will be a pretty big blowout, so that's a thing that we might want to think about doing. I guess we can also, draw a bajillion cards with this Myojin as well. That seems like a pretty cool idea. Opponent's going to crack the Expedition map. Coffers or Urborg. Let's see what they're going for. If they don't have the other one in hand, I'd probably go for Urborg right here. Yeah, they're going for Urborg. No attacks from our opponent. And that'll bring it back to our turn. That's an Utter End. Utter End is pretty cool. We get to draw an additional card. Yep. And it's a Kakusho for us. Now, if we play a Kakusho, that'd be 10 damage to each of our opponents. Well, it would only be 5 to Tyrant, but to the other 2, that's 10 damage if both Kakushos go down. And that seems really interesting. Play the Hollowed Fountain untapped. I feel like I'm going to keep our creatures back on def. Oh, man, I want to attack a little bit. Yosei is a really good deterrent from people attacking us. So I guess we take a little chip shot into the Chandra opponent right here. So they go down to 34. And we will play Kakusho. We'll hold up the counter spell, and if nothing comes up to counter, then we'll cycle the irrigated farmland. If we left our lands untapped better, could have also left up mana for Utter End. Whoops. Hopefully that doesn't become an issue, but, well, opponent's going to try to unmaking on our Yosei, and I think we're going to give that the old counter spell. I think Yosei is just too good, honestly. Like, I know Josu Vess may come down this turn, but Yosei is such a big deterrent. If someone's, basically going to lose a turn, especially as you get later into the game. Chandra opponent's going to act on impulse, going to get to look at some extra cards. They get a Wasteland. That's pretty good against Mono Black. They also get themselves a Magma Rift and a Fire Servant. They opt not to cast the Magma Rift. They run out of mana, so they cast only the Fire Servant. But they do get themselves a 4/3, and it says, if a red instant or sorcery spell you control would deal damage, it deals double that damage instead. It seems pretty good. Now turns X spells into some really big burn. So Josu Vess, the Mana Vault trigger, they're down to 14. And then they're going to play an Everflowing Chalice, kicked 3 times. So next turn, they're probably looking at Josu Vess mana. Ooh, we draw a Render Silent. That is super helpful. Okay, so we draw Render Silent and Thran Dynamo, both fantastic cards. Thran Dynamo going to be really good with this cost reduction. Yeah, I guess we're not going to cycle the land now because we've actually run out of land plays. The plan I have right here, I think, is exile Kakusho and just swing in. Let's try it. Maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe we need to be slightly more tactful. Iroas is a real thing and something that's probably worth utter ending. I guess I'm going to play the Thran Dynamo. Play the Irrigated Farmland. We'll send Remorseful Cleric into the Morophon and Kakusho into the Chandra opponent. So opponents go down to 30 and 28. I know it's not ideal, but I think I'm going to play the Painful Truths. Then after that, we can just sit on Render Silent. Oh, right, colored mana. Oh, yep, that was not ideal. We drew 1. We essentially cycled it, is what we just did. Whoops. There's a punt. There's a punt. Forgot about that. Whenever you cast a Spirit or Arcane spell, create a 3/3 flyer. That's pretty cool, right? So I guess we pass the turn like that and just kind of sit on the Render Silent. That turn did not go according to plan. That's an Adriana, Captain of the Guard. Cool. Yep, that's a pretty good human when you're trying to do a aggro go-wide thing. Part of me feels like at some point we have to see a Blasphemous Act out of the Chandra. Like, I feel like there's got to be Inferno, Blasphemous Act, some sort of, like, wipe the board, red board wipe. Opponent gonna send Sisei at us and Kresh at the Josu Vess opponent. Both cards will get melee, and they are both 7/7, so it's gonna hurt a little bit. We can't block it. And the Menace is probably a reason that we might want to start holding more things back. I guess if we get this Ayobi into play, and then if we can get another Spirit after that, then that'll give us some good blockers. So opponent's gonna double block with Demon and Kakusho. Let's see how they decide to order the blocking. So they take down the Demon token, and we get dinged for 7. We go to 19. Kresh, ooh, Kresh is going to get big. Kresh is a 14/14, so yeah, now we're really getting into that board wipe or bust territory. I know we have a couple board wipes. I didn't count exactly how many there were, but there are a few. Incendiary Flow deals 3 damage to a target creature. Oh, hey, that's going to exile our Yosei. Do we have to Render Silent that? I feel like we do, but kind of wish we had a high market so we could just sack these. That's a thing that I think this deck needs. I didn't see it in the list anywhere, but yeah, high market would allow you to sack these Dragon Spirits and just get the triggers whenever you want to, really. Yeah, I think I am going to Render Silent that. I think there's too much blocking power in that Yosei, so. Sorry, opponent, no more spells for you. Nope, and then opponent's going to Hungry Flames it, although that will kill it. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with it dying. I'm not okay with it being exiled. So Yosei dies, and Kresh will get a trigger. We're going to choose target player. We're going to choose Dragon Knight. And we're going to tap 5 permanents that won't untap. It's going to be Kresh. Kresh, Adriana, Iroas, and I guess 2 lands. We are pretty open right now. Opponent going to send the Fire Servant over to the Morophon. Excellent. We're down to 15. That is pretty scary. Ooh, that's a Cage Sun for the Josu Vess. Yep, that's not amazing. Opponent's going to play a Brass Herald. Enters battlefield, reveal the top 4 cards of your library, put all creature cards of the chosen type revealed into your hand, the rest in the bottom in random order. Yep, all things they wanted. Missing all the zombies. I don't know. Brass Herald, I think, is a little bit too unreliable, especially for how much mana it costs, in my opinion. But maybe in like an elf deck or something where, you know, there's like 40 elves. But if you're at like a typical creature count of like 25, maybe 30, I don't know. Brass Herald feels unreliable. I guess there's the Anthem half of it too, but there's a lot of Anthems in black already. You know, you could just run like Bad Moon if you want to, but especially with zombie Anthems, there's a ton of zombie Anthems. It's going to be back to our turn. We're going to get to draw an additional card. We're probably going to need a little bit of help right here. There's a Diabolic Edict. Okay. We can do some work with that. There's also a Vraska's Contempt. That'll gain us 2 life, which at this moment in time seems like a pretty good thing. That'll be 7. That'll be 8. That's like 15. Whew. No, that'll be 9. So that's a cool 16 mana. We have 12. We would only be able to get a one thing at a time. I'm trying to decide what to do. I'm thinking maybe we just trade the Kakushos right here. I can't decide if Vraska's Contempt on Kakusho and then swing into opponent. One of the things I'm starting to get a bit nervous about is like, you know, a Torment of Hellfire or something like that. But if we trade our Kakusha, yeah, I think we can do it. I'm going to try trading Kakushos. I'm going to send Kakusho over. Opponent's going to block. We will trade Kakushos. Theirs we'll get to resolve first. Kresh becomes absolutely huge. Kresh now has 30 power. Whew, that's a lot. Yeah, we're definitely going to need to leave up Vraska's... Well, they won't untap with it this turn, but definitely need to sit on Vraska's Contempt, Utter End, that kind of stuff. Let's get this Ayobi into play. We go back up to 25. Josu Vess went back up to 23. Other opponents go to 16 and 18. So we'll sit on the instant speed stuff. Maybe we'll draw with Mind Stone at the end. We'll see. Why didn't that one untap? That one should have untapped. Oh, they skipped... Oh, they skipped their whole untap step. Yep, that's rough sauce for them. Alright, so they lose a turn. Sorry, opponent. Yosei is pretty nasty. Doesn't see like a ton of play. I know it shows up, I think, in like some Abzan lists. I've seen it, like a Carador or something like that. But Yosei is so nasty. Here's a Chandra Pyro Genius. It can do... Well, they can't activate it, so there's that. Opponent's going to Sadistic Sacrament us kicked. They're going to search for 15 cards and exile them. Wow. I guess we try to draw with the Mind Stone just to see if we can catch some kind of gas before the... Nope, it's a land. Awesome. All right, then. I mean, once we play this Myojin, we can draw, like, probably most of our deck. What did we lose? We lost that guy. We lost the Geist. We lost the Myojin, Godhead, Soul Herder, Drogskull, Ghostlit, Kega, Drogskull, Cavalry, Myojin, Karmic Guide, Rattle Chains, and Spellqueller and Obsidat. Most of our creatures, that is a lot of creatures to lose. I can't imagine there's actually that many creatures left in the deck. There were 29 creatures. Okay, there's probably a few, but Empyrean Eagle's still in there. It's going to be rough. It's going to be rough. I think we are probably going to have to try to win with the stuff that we have. Opponent does make a 6/6 Death Touch with Menace. Where'd that come from? I didn't see what created that. Oh, that. Exile a card from your card. Create a 2/2 black zombie creature token. Why is it a 6/6? Here's a +1. There's a +1. Oh, right. Door of Destinies. No attacks from the zombie opponent. We draw a Smothering Tithe and an Enlightened Tutor. Okay. Let's play the land. We can sack the land to draw something with Enlightened Tutor. That seems pretty cool, right? What can we get that matters? Thaumatic Compass is not the worst thing I've ever seen. This pumps up our spirits. We don't actually have that many spirits. Debtor's Knell is kind of cool. Is this any graveyard? Any graveyard. Thinking about that. But maybe we want to get the Myojin this turn. So that's going to be 9 mana. Which will leave us 3 left over. Which would... It's maybe a little bit light. I think we're going to... We could exile Iroas if we needed to. Yeah, I think we're going to get the Myojin in because I think we're going to need the card draw at this point. Maybe not. Maybe not. I think... Let's go Smothering Tithe first. Oops, we overtapped. Maybe we go Debtor's Knell? No, Debtor's Knell is still going to be a bit expensive. We'll wait on that. I think we are staying put this turn. Man, turn 10, not doing a whole lot. Smothering Tithe trigger on our opponent, and they give us the treasure. Excellent. Opponent's going to play a Joda. Yup. Pump up that Door of Destinies. Iroas now a creature. Ooh, boots, you say? Where are the boots going? Boots on the Joda. Okay, I'm okay with that. Joda's not as scary as everything else in this exact moment. We can also block Joda. Well, let's see where opponent wants to send everything. Alright, so opponent's sending only the Joda at us. I did tell them about our removal beforehand. I do want them to basically kill the other 2 opponents. Melee is going to trigger a bunch of times. Actually, Joda's pretty big now. I won't lie to you. That is 10 damage, but if the other 2 players die right here, then I think we're okay to go 1 versus 1 against the humans. How do I feel about blocking with both? Not great. I don't feel great about blocking with both. I think we're going to take the 10, go to 15. Yeah, we're not going to block. We're going to leave those 2 creatures up. More things die to Kresh. Both players survive. Chandra survives at 7, and Josu Vess survives at 2. That is good for our Smothering Tithe business. Kresh now a 42/42. Smothering Tithe trigger on the Chandra. They decide to pay. Gonna play a Chandra Bold Pyromancer. Yep. Looks like they are out of other options. Gonna send the Fire Servant into the Morophon opponent. Everyone getting down there. Pretty low life totals. This is where I wouldn't mind seeing like a True Conviction in this deck. Make your creatures stronger, get the damage in, and gain that life back. You can kind of win a life race. Still nervous about like top deck into big nasty black spell. Exsanguinate Torment would be a real problem. Opponent gives us the treasure token. Opponent goes down to 1 on the mana vault. Comes Josu Vess kicked. Opponent still got 9 mana left over. Bunch of 6/6 tokens. Yup. Opponent's gonna use the Graph Harvest ability to make more zombies. Cellar Door. Nice. Target player puts the bottom card of their library into their graveyard. If it's a creature, make a 2/2 black zombie creature token. If that card was more aggressively costed, it would actually be pretty cool. They use it, and I think they hit. I think they hit with it. Yeah, I see an Eternal Witness right there. So at the end step right here, we're going to Enlighten Tutor. See what our options are. Vanquisher's Banner is a card. I mean, it's okay. We don't have like a ton of tokens. We don't have a ton of things out yet, but we do have the Myojin that we're looking to cast. Thematic Compass seems pretty good. Etchings of the Chosen is not the worst thing. That's another Anthem, and we can give another creature Indestructible, but we don't have like tons and tons of creatures right now. Bolas Citadel probably out since our life total is really low. That's another Anthem. Yosei's in our graveyard. Kakusho's in our graveyard. That's a reason to go Debtor's Knell. Yeah, I think let's get Debtor's Knell. Also, I just really like Debtor's Knell as a card, and I don't get to play it very often. So that is the other reason that I'm going for it, while there are reasons that we could do some of the other things. Okay, so we're going to swing the Remorseful Cleric into the Josu Vess opponent. As far as I know, they don't have any flyers. Josu Vess going down. I think let's go for the Myojin first. And that'll get us another Spirit token. So that gives us more blocking power, which is what I'm mostly interested in right now. And then we have a little bit of mana left over to do some of our instant speed stuff. And then I think that's what we're going to be doing. So we'll pass the turn like that. Smothering Tithe trigger on our opponent. They do not pay. Morophon coming into play. That is an Anthem. That does make creature spells free. Morophon's a 10/10. So we have 2 pieces of instant speed spot removal, Utter End and Vraska's Contempt. One of them has to be Iroas. The other one, maybe Door of Destinies? I'm not sure. I'm not sure yet. I was thinking about Adriana. Well, Adriana isn't going to be as strong as it was. Opponent just coming everything our way. Okay. Vraska's Contempt on Iroas. Ooh, opponent's going to play a Heron's Grace Champion. Flash, lifelink, enters the battlefield. Each other human gets +1/+1 and gains lifelink. Oh my. Well, we can't do much about that. Opponent's going to be gaining a lot of life. It's going to take us, even if we can stop the attack right here, it's going to take us a while to climb this mountain. So Iroas is down. We gain 2 life. That is helpful. I'm going to let these melee triggers resolve. This does not have trample, so we're going to... Let's think about our blocks. Yeah, we'll go to blocks. Put the Indestructible in front of Crash. Put the Spirit in front of... Oh, we might die. I guess let's do that differently then. Oh, we can shoot the Door of Destinies. That is a thing that we can do. Okay. Yeah, Door of Destinies will save a lot of damage coming in. In fact, so this meleeed 1 time, which means it's, what is it? It's 4/3. It's got 4 toughness. Which means if we block right here... no, it's probably still going to survive, actually. But what I don't know if it matters that much. That's got 4 toughness. That's huge. This will be about 6, I think. So it meleeed once, and it's got +1 from that. Oh, +2 from that. So it's got +3, so that'll be 7 damage. And how big is this thing? Oh, this one's going over there. Whew! So that one's blocked. That one's blocked. Now the question is what to do with Adriana. I think we can take the hit from Adriana. Double check all this. Okay. Utter End on the Door of Destinies. Door of Destinies down. Chandra opponent goes down. Kresh continues to get larger. Opponent goes up to 78 life. Oh my. Immortal Sun trigger for us. We draw an additional card. Ooh, it's a Selfless Spirit. Selfless Spirit actually pretty helpful right here. That can do a lot of good things for us. Play the Underground Sea. I'm going to play Council's Judgment on Adriana. Adriana's +1. Okay, there's nastier things then. I guess I'm going to go with, just to stop the free casting. If like they hit any kind of card draw, especially like green card draw, and they could draw half their deck with Kresh, then and they could just cast everything for free, that seems like it could be a problem. So I think Joda is going to be the way to go right here. So Joda gets exiled, 1 creature down. Let's get Debtor's Knell into play. Let's get Selfless Spirit. Get an Ayobi trigger, so we'll get another token. And we'll sit on this Diabolic Edict. Not great when opponents have like a super go-wide army, but, you know. Obviously not going to be doing any attacking right here. We are in full block mode. The plan here is going to be to try to Debtor's Knell as best as we can. Yosei and Kakusho are probably at the top of my list. Eternal Witness isn't terrible either. We would need 2 Smothering Tithe tokens for it, though. We have one. We now have one. Here comes a Baird Steward of Argyle. Vigilance, creatures can't attack you. Oh, yep, that's going to make this mountain even harder to climb. Opponent's going to put boots on it. Yep. Opponent plays a land. Untapped. We could Diabolic Edict our own Yosei. That is the thing that we can do. Assuming that we survive this hit right here. Opponent has more creatures than us now. Melee is going to trigger a bunch of times. Yeah, let's go to blocks. So yeah, opponent's going to get 1 creature to go through, but we can survive that hit as long as they don't have a trick of some kind. Are there any profitable blocks? Does not appear like it. Alright, so let's go for the biggest ones first. Remorseful Cleric right there. Ayobi right there. Myojin in front of Morophon. This token in front of the Heron's Grace. Actually, no. Selfless Spirit in front of the Heron's Grace, because when we sack it, it won't lifelink. Spirit in front of the 8/8, and we're going to take 4 from Baird. Just make sure I did everything right. That one's blocked. That one's blocked. That one's blocked. That one's blocked. And that one's blocked. Okay. Then we sacrifice the Selfless Spirit, give our other creatures indestructible. We take the hit, we go to 4. Whew. Debtor's Knell will trigger. Get Yosei. That's a Drogskull Captain. That's pretty helpful. There's a land. Play the land. Play Drogskull Captain. Get a Spirit token. I think it's time to cash in the Divinity counter. 50 cards at our library, and let's see how many things we draw. 24. We go up to 25 cards in hand. Fantastic. And we could destroy all creatures. That's a thing that we could do. Opponent doesn't untap. Our opponent won't untap, though, when... Ooh, a Thaumatic Compass is helpful, too. Let's do some attacking. Start climbing this mountain. Oh, we need to pay 4. Alright, pay 4. Opponent goes down to 57. Making some headway. I don't want to time wipe just yet. So I'm going to choose us with the Diabolic Edict. Sacrifice Yosei. Get a Yosei trigger. Tap up opponent's stuff. Opponent's got something. We've got a counter, though. Garna the Blood Flame. That seems like it's probably worth a counter. Opponent's got 2 extra mana. Make sure we're not missing anything. Yeah, this should get countered. We're going to bounce 2 creatures. Kresh and Adriana. Could probably use like a Reliquary Tower or a Thought Vessel, based on the amount of card draw that this Myojin can do. And then we'll go to the end step. We'll start discarding stuff. So opponent does not get to untap, which means they can't pay for the Smothering Tithe. They get another Smothering Tithe token. Now, we could just like get Yosei repetitively, but I don't really want to do that. It's pretty dirty. It's pretty dirty. I feel like we've got other tools, so we'll go for the Basilica Bell thingy. We'll gain 3 life, and opponent will have to discard a card. We draw a Talisman of Hierarchy and Notion Rain. Surveil 2, then draw 2 cards. Deals 2 damage to you. Meh. Probably discard that to hand size if we don't need it. Let's play the Supreme Phantom. Get another Ayobi Spirit. We've got Empyrean Eagle. Let's play that. That'll pump up our spirits even more. I'm going to go for this Ethereal Absolution. That will pump up our team even further. And then I think after that, probably the Forbidding Spirit and the Thaumatic Compass. Maybe sit on Kaya's Guile. Oh, we need to pay 6. All right, Baird is still a thing. We'll send the biggest ones. This is about half their life right here. 3 sounds a lot better. Then we'll play Thaumatic Compass. Oh, it only costs 1. And we'll sit on Kaya's Guile. Oh, nope, we should definitely play this Forbidding Spirit. Almost forgot about it. And that'll create another Spirit. And if opponent doesn't have a board wipe, I think we are in good shape next turn to go full scale on them. Oh, that's an Angel of Glory's Rise. Alright, Kaya's Guile time. Yeah, that's not going to work. So we're going to have opponent sacrifice a creature and exile their graveyard. I'm going to stay away from the shock land right here. Use the treasure tokens. This card is ridiculous. This is like every ability you need in a game of Commander. I mean, it's like an entire sideboard just rolled into one card. So Angel of Glory's Rise comes in, but the graveyard gets exiled, brings nothing back. Opponent has sacrificed a creature, sacrifices the Heron's Grace. And now they've got a not very intimidating army. We're going to get our Selfless Spirit back because we can do the indestructible board wipe thing. We draw an additional card. Oh, there's the Reliquary Tower. Could have used that. Go to combat. Oh, we got to pay 13. Okay. Let's just send the ones we need. Opponent does have one flyer. That's an 8. That's a 7. That's a 7. These are 8/8s. This should be lethal. I didn't count it, but opponent going to block 1. And down they go. Wow, Esper Spirits. There's some cool stuff in this deck. Kind of had to play the slow game a little bit. The Immortal Sun was really awkward with Aminatou because that kind of shut down the cost reduction mode of exiling a land and getting it back, which was something that I was looking at doing. But there were some really cool synergies in here. Debtor's Knell, just a sweet, sweet card. Kind of slow. Doesn't see a lot of play these days because of how slow it is. But when you get into a longer game like that, it can turn a game around for you when you start getting stuff back, especially big stuff. In our case, getting back the Yosei and just, I mean, we made opponents skip 2 turns of that game, which is a great way to win games. It does feel terrible, though. I feel bad for doing that to our opponent, but... then the other one was seeing this Myojin of the Seeing Winds. I think I've only ever seen this card a couple of times in all of the Magic I've played. Like, it's just such a big and expensive card to use, but we drew 24 cards with it, so that's the other side of it, is that if you get it to work, you are drawing a good portion of your deck, and especially after we got 15 of our creatures exiled from the Sadistic Sacrament, that is huge to be able to actually draw into things that matter, so that was really cool. But yeah, there's some cool little synergies in this deck. I really enjoyed it. It was pretty sweet. So just a nice little Tribal Spirits deck. And once again, this deck list came from Derek, who made a donation to the GoFundMe for the GP Vegas trip. So if you want to get a deck played, be sure to check out the video and my GoFundMe page. Links for everything will be in the description below. And I hope you guys enjoyed the video. As always, feel free to comment, like, or subscribe. Thank you for watching.